not so starving artists. We have AJ and Kin in the house today. Want to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
What's up? My name is AJ Velasco. I am a human, a creative, and an educator. I also dance on the side, and I like fried chicken.
Yeah, my name is Kinaj. I am a human, a creator, and artist. Yeah, and I like sharing and eating food, like fried chicken.
Yes, awesome. So speaking of fried chicken, we're going to introduce where we're eating today, which I have as well. We've got The Fry, which is awesome. It is a local Canadian Korean fried chicken chain that has locations in Toronto, Mississauga, and Ottawa. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
They have Ottawa. What did you guys order? Give me a tour.
We ordered the soy garlic fried chicken, bone-in, and then we ordered the cheeseling chicken, boneless. And we got a little vegetable there. You see, that's a little tomato.
Yes, you need at least a single vegetable.
What did you get, Gina?
That cuts out everything. I got the spicy chicken. I got a plate here.
Okay.
The spicy one. And then we've got our pickled radishes, which I love. I may or may not have been munching on them while I was waiting for you guys to come in. And rice.
Damn, she's sad. You're sad.
I'm ready to go. Let's have a little cheers, a little chicken cheers before we dig in. Ready?
Oh God.
Gotta do like the whole pretend like it's oh yeah, you already know.
You ready? All right, cheers.
ASMR.
Oh, so good. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped my chicken.
That smacks.
It's so
The
good.
thing I love about fried chicken places is Korean fried chicken places is that they do one thing and they do that one thing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
First topic that we're going to go on to today is IDM. You guys are both IDM mentors, right? Tell me a little bit about that. Why did you decide to become mentors in the first place? What do you like about it? Just give me a general.
I got asked to be a mentor through REIT, and I think I enjoy it, but I think the challenge with being a mentor is there's a lot of responsibility in the role of being a mentor. And I think the idea of being a mentor is it's a dynamic state where we're constantly having to learn and also unlearn a lot of things. I think what I like about being a mentor in general, not even just through IDM, is the idea of sharing my experiences and hopefully giving those ideas and knowledge to the mentees, things that I wish I knew when I was younger. And I hope it could be something that they can take away from it. But I also get to learn from them too. I think the first mentorship opportunity I had was during school in nursing, where I became a mentor for students entering the cohort for the registered nurse program at University of Toronto. And then that translated later on into practice when I started working at Sick Kids Hospital. So there was some transferable things happening there. And with IDM, it's been I would say the hardest thing would be that everything is online. It's a blessing, but it's also a new experience. So it gets challenging trying to maintain that relationship, that mentorship relationship with multiple students through the IDM program, and having only really one time, once a month to teach them. But it's been, that's how it all started.
That's sick. I like how it was you've got those transferable skills, right? And I'm guessing that that's definitely something that your students, your mentees are going to take away as well. The skills that you give them are going to be transferable wherever else they go. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
Again.
Yeah. What I like about IDM is that lots of mentors, they not only teach dance, but they teach something else. And for example, half of my half of the times that I've taught were actually lectures. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just giving out lectures on how to create a concept or how to stage a you know a performance, etc., etc. How there was, I think there was a lecture on social media too. So there are lots of knowledge that has been, delivered through this mentorship program. So not only uh, dancing and choreography from all these crazy, amazing teachers around the world, but also,
Including you.
oh, but you.
Both of you.
Say so.
But also the knowledge. And we also, as mentors, we get to take classes as well. So as much as students are growing, we also grow with them. So I think that's also like a really good thing to mention. um, yeah, do you want to add anything?
Mm, it's hard being mentor.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I kind of like, even in all honesty, like I feel like I'll like doubt myself. I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm like really like made to be like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, no, I know you're good, but like there's like parts of me where like, oh, I have a lot to learn. I
Is
think
it like low key like imposter syndrome? Like you feel like
could be.
I'm there, but like, am I really there?
Yeah, it could be. I think it can unpack that more. I think it's like you know what? It might be imposter syndrome, but I definitely think after COVID, it made me realize like a lot of introspection about like the role and responsibility of being a mentor. And if we're going to take, if anyone is going to take the title of being a mentor, it's like, are you going to pull through to like it's like, I mean, so, but yeah, been like a really good experience. And we
That's
get
good. It sounds like overall definitely a positive.
yeah. It's been great. It's been a great time.
So how would you describe the structure of the program? Like what works for you and what like specifically to you, right? We already know about REIT, we already know about IDM, but like specifically to you, how would you describe the structure works for you or doesn't work for you?
Well, from a mentor's perspective, we only get to see students once a month, right? Because there's so many mentors and they get to learn from different mentor every week. And so during that month, we just kind of go back and forth with Reed asking, okay, what do the students need this month, right? What can we deliver this month? And so we base everything, like every single class, based on the needs and wants from students. Yeah, I think there's one time AJ actually, you were just talking to them and actually asked them, do you want to dance today? And most of them said no. All right.
We ordered food, but we did a lab. We did a lab. I think yeah, that there's an opportunity where they didn't really want to take choreography class, and I said we'll still dance, but we'll do something more like a tutorial or lab where they get to kind of like experiment and create.
Yeah, that sounds cool though, that you can switch it up and kind of like it's not so like set in stone and like rigorous that you need to be like, well, okay, I don't care if you don't want to do choreo, you're doing choreo today.
Yeah, I think that's a preference in like any teacher. I think yeah, for I guess that day, I don't know. I think just for me as a student, sometimes I'm like, I'll take a lot of class, and then sometimes I'd want to like something different or something more where I can like apply stuff. That's just me.
Yeah.
I just tried it out. But anyway, I'll let Kim keep on. Sorry, thanks for like. Anything else on
Yeah.
that? No.
Yeah, and also we have lectures too, which I love giving, and I love doing lectures because you don't dance and you get to sit and talk with your PowerPoint and
Being a
stuff.
professor here.
Your lecture,
Like right
the
now.
lecture you did with the what is it? How to shoot a concept video. I tuned in for that, and then I took notes because I didn't know.
Yeah, like there's lots of lectures. Oh, well, there's lots of information that we can like. There's lots of freedom for us to create our own syllabus in this mentorship. Of course, it has to go through approval, etc. But we have freedom, so which is like really good for us because we're all different and we have different things to offer aside of dance. just because everyone can dance now, right? Everyone is good. Anyone can take class. But what else can we offer outside of dance? So I think that's probably, I think the good thing about IDM is like there's freedom for us to just give what we have, and like the best thing that we can give, we give, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I think that goes also back to like what AJ was saying before about transferable skills, right? Like you are teaching them dance, of course, you're in a dance mentorship, but you're also low-key teaching them about life as well as dance.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of forget about that. Like we're so focused on like dance, and then you would kind of realize like there's a lot more to it. Yeah. I think the hardest thing I have experienced, like echoing off what Kin said, is trying to figure like it's great that we have the freedom of getting to run our classes, but a challenge for sure is because there's so many great teachers that are on IDM, and everyone is providing their own information and knowledge to the students. It's hard to find kind of this not consistency, but like knowing almost like a syllabus, right? Like IDM is in the works of obviously developing, and it's a brand new platform that's being developed through quarantine and like through a global pandemic.
Mhm.
So I think definitely like a challenge would have been a challenge that I've experienced personally is like knowing like, okay, like this is kind of where everyone's at. And I think the beauty, but also the difficulty with having different types of students from all across the world and at different levels is that the knowledge that being provided, like I wouldn't want to give someone an advanced choreography if they weren't even comfortable in like on like let's say like in my choreography I do a lot of like grooves and in like hip hop foundation. If they weren't even comfortable doing that, then like that would be overwhelming. So then it's kind of like trying to find that like balance. I don't even know what I'm doing with my arms. I'm like ringing or something. But yeah, finding that balance between like what is gonna be beneficial or like that they'll be able to take away rather than just like steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna need to see you take at least like 3 more bites because
Dude, that was a lot of talking. Holy
Yeah.
crap. This is a great idea.
I think so too. But it was my idea, so
Let's go, B. Yeah, let's go. This is a bomb idea.
So back to IDM while you're still eating though. What is the purpose? So you guys were talking about like you're trying to find what value you want to give, right? And obviously each student is at a different level and they're learning different things and each one has different needs. What purpose do you see in what you are giving them specifically? We're getting deep. We're getting deep.
Next question. Okay, that's a good question. Honestly, it's a really good question. I think I said that 3 times already.
You're 2. You got 2. You got 1 more.
Ew. That's a really good question.
There you go. That's 3.
I think just kind of going back to what we said earlier, one purpose, like I think a big purpose that I have right now being a mentor for IDM is just providing that space, that like the medium through IDM, and being a mentor to teach, to still continue to dance, and provide some knowledge and provide knowledge to the students, that they can either learning more specifically in my choreography and style and choices that I make, in storytelling or just constructing a piece of constructing choreography, or just providing knowledge and like something that's more transferable. I think recently I talked to them about like rest, and like rest is okay, and I've only like really started practicing that probably more recently than before. And she really helped, like Kim's been really helpful, like reminding me like rest is okay. I think before quarantine, like everyone was just on like gear 6, and we were just like in this consumerism kind of like mindset, go, like more, I'm not making enough, I'm not doing enough. And then like COVID really just like hit the brakes on that. And I think it's been such a good practice mentally, spiritually, and physically to reflect on that and, you know, remind even like these like the people that we're engaging with and exchanging through IDM that it's okay for us to like not want to take a class. It's like take your mental health days. Like that's totally fine. It's like, yeah, those practical skills and like reminders I think are really important to make that human connection with them, because I think sometimes people act very differently when they see you on like Instagram, or like you're on a poster and you're a teacher and they think you're like really cool, but then they watch like an interview of a mukbang and they realize you're really weird. So then like it's great because then they're like, wow, they're weirder than me, so like I feel a lot better talking to them. Yeah, I think I remember like one time I remember when I first met who was that? When I first met Reet or JJ or CJ, I was like really nervous.
All three of them?
All three of them. I was like really nervous, and then like when I hung out with them in like a normal setting, I was like, wow, I'm normal. Yeah, you know.
Definitely may be true. I will not comment on that
Yeah.
at all. But maybe that's a good like reason to have them on as interviewees so that they can defend themselves.
Oh, wow.
It's call out.
It's a call.
How about you?
For me, I think I always try to tell my students to think outside the box. That's like the mantra I tell them. I always tell them, whenever you create, you can strive for excellence, but what else can you do, right? What's the next thing that you can do? So always kind of like pushing yourself towards like a next level, but not burn yourself out because of it, right? So yeah, think outside the box, always do your best. Make sure you take breaks and make sure you rest. And I think just in general, just instill that type of idea of working smart rather than working hard, because I mean, of course, hard work is important, right? But I think for me, working smart and knowing who you are, knowing your capabilities as a person, knowing your brain capabilities. For example, some people are better at short-term memory, some people are better at long-term memory. You should be able to like know yourself this well. So I think like I try to promote lots of introspection and like thinking, okay, what am I good at, what am I bad at, what can I use to do, or what can I use to make myself better, knowing that I have these kind of limitations or advantages. So that's what I'm trying to like always tell students, like you should work smart, not hard. Which is like,
I think like being able to use your own facilities, because not everybody is good at everything, right? Yeah. You could take a ballerina and put them in a crump class, but that doesn't mean, like, if they don't do well in that crump class, that doesn't mean they're a bad dancer. It just means that certain style doesn't work for them, right? Yeah, and I feel like that's really important. I feel like that's a really useful thing. Like, that's a useful thing to tell people, because then they don't get stuck inside themselves, you know what I mean? And we're so like focused on being so excellent at what we do that when you're not, it's like, damn.
Yeah, I think there's one time we were talking about it's okay to make mistakes too. So yeah, it's important to just acknowledge ourselves as just humans. Like, and as a human, we can make mistakes, and like we can fail all the time, right?
Learn from them.
100%. How did you decide that like being a teacher is something that's important to you? Because something I've been hearing a lot from in the community lately is there are dance teachers and then there are dancers who teach. So how did you decide that being a teacher was important to you?
That's really good question. That's a really good question, Count.
We got 4.
You know, I was definitely part of the I'm teaching dance, but I wasn't being a teacher. I think I was definitely at that. I think for a good portion of my dance career, it was something that was not promoted, but it was just like, it was okay in the circle that I was in, right? Because like, you know, you didn't, when I grew up learning how to dance, like there was only a few areas that like taught, and there weren't too many teachers that I knew who were teaching that often. So like I really started my whole journey basically just like learning off like YouTube, or like learning off friends who like learned off from other people. And like, you know, like watching Michael Jackson and all that stuff. So like, you know, you try to, that's where I started. So I think when I think later on when I started to just teach, like not become a teacher, when I started to like learn that like I didn't know like certain moves like had history, certain moves came from certain things, or like certain things were variations of other things. It didn't make me, I didn't realize like the importance of like, okay, if I'm really teaching, like I have to make sure that not only am I like, you know, like using like certain transferable skills like proper communication, like reading the room, and communicating with the students, but also like providing the right knowledge. I think it's super important, right? And acknowledging that if I don't know, that I should say I don't know, right? Rather than trying to pretend like I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really started to resonate more with me probably around maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, when I was like, oh, you know, like I'm teaching and like I have all these cool moves and choreography, and like I'm taking inspiration from like other artists or different styles, but I don't really train in those styles that much.
Yeah.
Like I train a little bit in like breaking, like, you know, like concepts like waving and like barely popping. Like my Fresnos were like the real Fresnos, yeah, like jazz fingers. So not until like when I started to like just like accept like, man, I have to like unlearn and relearn new things so that I can like confidently and like properly teach certain like teach dance, right? It's like a math teacher coming in being like, okay, 2 + 2 = 4, and like, how do you know that? Well, like you just have to know that. And it's just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Or like or you know, like it's just transferable. And then like those things made more sense to me. And then when I started becoming a mentor in like school, or like assisting in like tutoring in certain courses, I had to it reemphasize like, oh, I really need to know my shit, like in order to become a proper teacher, right? And if I'm not good at teaching it, then like I should not teach it, or like say I'm teaching what it is. She's a teacher, so she'll let you know. But that's what really like I guess happened to me through like my journey through dance. Take it away while I eat chicken.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think I do relate to what Aiden is saying.
Sorry.
Especially when he was talking about, you have to know ABCs before you teach words, and before you tell people how to make sentences, how to write essays, and then how to write a book, right? So basically the same with teaching dance, right? You want to know your 2 steps, and then whatever foundation you base your dance on, and then you teach people how to stylize it the way you dance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think that's really important nowadays. And nowadays I think we, like as teachers, as dance teachers, we slowly started to realize that it's really important to pay respect to the foundation and to the people who created it. Dance, it's like, APA.
Yeah, you're citing your sources.
Yeah, you have to cite your sources.
Yeah.
So whenever you teach, you want to tell people, okay, so this is this comes from this.
Mhm.
You can remember it, you can write it down, but this is not my move. This is from somewhere else. I'm just doing it differently because I am a person. I am a human, and I like, we are uniquely us. So we just do things the way we want to do it.
You make it
right?
your own.
Make it your own. Yeah, but for me as a teacher, or a mentor, the good indications that I did a good job is that if someone dances better than me and they were my student, I was like, yes, great, I did a good job. Right? Or if you see them and then you see that they're doing the things, they're applying the things that you teach them
Mm-hmm.
in their own thing, right? In their own endeavor. It could be like a video or a choreography, or they just dance somewhere else. It's just really great to see that they're succeeding in their own way. Yeah.
That's really meaningful. I feel like Kin, whenever I listen to you talk, I'm like, damn, I should be taking notes. Good thing that this is recorded because like like Kin drops wisdom. You do too, AJ, but like
Oh, you got wisdom. I'm like, when she talks, I'm like,
wisdom when she talks.
I don't know. It's good. It's like a lecture.
Yeah, but like not a boring lecture where it's like I'm in school and I really wish that my prof would take a break. It's like, damn, like
I gotta think about stuff. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So like switching gears just a little bit. AJ, you mentioned this before. I kind of want to touch on it a little more. But what is, because I know that you've been teaching over video. Even recently, you guys had a Vibe class, or sorry, a class at Vibe, that was half in person and half on video. So, or probably more than half. I'm not sure how many people tuned in to the video part.
Not sure. I don't think actually. I think most people actually were in person. I think only less than a handful were actually on video. But I think most of the video that I've taught was like online. Like was like with IDM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's obviously online.
Yeah. So what are the like key difficulties that you guys find when you're teaching over video? Because obviously dance is physical. And a lot of it is based on physicality, and a lot of it I even find is based on energy, right? Obviously that energy that you get in a room is not being translated when you guys are all in different places. So how do you manage to get that physicality or teach that physicality?
That's a good question. I gotta like switch it up. You're expecting it now. How do you overcome this physicality?
Well, first of all, Zoom sucks with music.
Zoom
It
sucks.
lags all the time, and you're like, do I share my music?
Yeah.
Do I not share my music? It's gonna lag anyways. So that's the first difficulty.
There's like for the like technical difficulties. That's definitely one. I mean, like when you hit it though, it's just kind of like you gotta be like, all right, I gotta figure it out, and then you're just trying to find an alternative because at the end of the day, you still have to teach, right, our class.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like okay, we're not gonna share it on like Zoom itself. We're just gonna play music and then out. And I know Zoom doesn't have a second one. Zoom doesn't have a mirroring function. I don't know, right? I mean, it wasn't made for dancers, but anyways, I know there's a plugin, but when we teach, we don't have it. So Ken and I will either try to, if we know our piece, like if it's not like super fresh, like we'll try to actually just like flip it on the spot, or like take a few minutes to just flip it for them, and then, or we just face backwards. That's another way to overcome that. I think the next would probably be space. Yeah, like overcoming that, it's like it's hard because your home is like mentally has become like subconsciously is a space where you feel like safe, relaxed, and you most likely don't want to do anything physical. Like usually all of that subconscious stuff is like outside your home, right? Like you come home, you want to be in your PJs, chill, eat, maybe do like, I don't know, whatever.
Maybe do a single push-up, like just one.
Yeah, like I'm trying to do like home workouts, and like I hate it. It sucks at home because like I'm like, oh man, like it's not the same.
It's not.
So that's definitely hard. At the end of the day, though, it's at least like on my end, I'm gonna try to give as much energy as I can by like yelling and being like a little over the top, AJ, on Zoom.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, come on! Even if you're lagging, even if like my music's playing and you're like 12 8 counts like late, I'm still be like, yeah, kill it, let's go, y'all smashed it. I don't care. That's like the best I can do. But on the other end, like it's a relationship teacher and student. So the students are only going to improve as much as like they can and like how much they can put their energy into it. So like I'm not gonna like force them to like, if they don't feel like they're not gonna do it, then like I'm not like trying to sound petty, but like that's just their decision. I'm not gonna baby them, right? I'm like you know.
Yeah, I mean that's also important.
Yeah, they have the video too. I know all the videos are saved, so if they want to like take time to review it and then learn it out, like do it outside and record it, like that option is always like enforced to be like record yourself. If you want feedback, send it to us privately, and then we'll send you a video like back so that it's more clear without using Zoom. And I think that's been like really helpful. But
It's a good workaround.
yeah, it's hard. You can't make it's hard to force people. And like again, we're like still like low key in quarantine, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's yeah. I don't know. Over for you.
I think it's also really hard to give feedback, immediate feedback over Zoom, because everything is lagging. Well, at least for me, whenever I use it, it lags, so you don't know if they're hitting the right musicality or the textures or if their moves are there. So it's like you kind of want to be a little bit more outspoken, I guess, and ask them, okay, what do you need? What did you get? How about musicality? Did you get it, or did you get the moves? And like be more detailed with how you kind of like guide them. So that's a little bit difficult for me. I think it's also really difficult when there's no energy, right? Yeah, and like but I actually found a way. It kind of works a little bit. I try to, if there's like a group of people, I try to say like highlight them. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be group one, and everyone's gonna watch them and send me all these reactions. Like these reactions on
Do it.
on
Hit it
Zoom.
up. Hit the clap.
Yeah. Right? So that kind of helps a little bit. So whenever like they finish their round, everyone's like reacting and like woo, unmuting themselves. Yeah, so
that's cool. That's a good way to do it.
That's actually really good. I like that.
At least it kind of feels like groups,
Yeah, a little bit like when you're actually in class. But speaking of actually in class, on a scale of 1 to 100% definitely, like I can't wait, how much are you looking forward to actually going back in person and teaching people in person?
Like a 90.
Oh, like wow. I was expecting like
100?
20. Why 90?
I mean, because it's still like, until everything's like cleared and safe, I don't want to like risk it. I don't want to be like, I don't want to enforce like another freaking, like a third wave. Woohoo! So, but I mean, when we taught a vibe recently for our class, it was like a really great experience. It felt really nice. Minus like not breathing with it. I mean, it's hard to breathe a mask.
Yeah.
You can breathe, but it's really good. Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat. It's I'd rather wait for things to be safe, and then let's go from there.
Yeah, we kind of touched on this a little bit already too, but did you ever picture yourselves as mentors? So not just teachers, but like someone who's imparting general wisdom to your students, or did you kind of just like fall in and then just keep going with it?
You sure? Yeah. I kind of at first I actually fell into it. Like I didn't really picture myself as a mentor. I think I kind of just had like the opportunity to like teach it, like in specifically with dance, like, teach a piece, and then I was like, yeah, sure, this is fun. I like this, and then not until like again like echoing what I said previously, until later on I was like, oh, I have to like actually teach. Like I should properly teach stuff if I'm gonna actually call myself a teacher and like make income out of it and then share that knowledge to like multiple people, not just like close friends. Like I actually have to like take the responsibility of what a mentor is. And then I think till later on in my journey, I like through like my educational career, I started taking more of that like that role more serious, like with more seriousness, that responsibility. So I was like, taking classes to learn a bit more.
For me, I think it's the same. I come from a teaching background, and I have like bachelor's in teaching.
Why are
Damn!
you always dropping wisdom?
I have a master's in teaching too, guys.
Master Kin!
Education.
Master
Anyways, but yeah, to be honest, I've been always avoiding whenever anyone asked me to like, hey, do you want to teach? Do you want to mentor? I always say no first until like and then I just like kind of like slowly opened up to the opportunities. I think the reason why I say no all the time, most of the time, is that I know the responsibility uh, and like how important it is to be a good mentor, and how important it is to lead by example, right? And that's it's just a lot of responsibility, and not that many people know how much you can impact this little human being or like this young person with just what you say in class. For example, I don't know, if you come into class and you like, if you can't get this combo and you don't perform it well in groups, you can't do anything, like. And there's some people out there who have like really like strong sense of competition, and they say that to kind of like, you know like put some fire in students' minds. But we all know that nowadays this mindset doesn't work anymore, right? And
There's
it's
consequences with it.
yeah, there's lots of consequences of what you say, what you do. And you want to know, things.
You don't want to empower them.
Yeah,
You don't want to like bring fear to their hearts.
exactly.
You want to like empower them. Like I think fear is like not a bad thing. I mean, like you want to like purpose like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to do, but
Yeah.
that's scary.
That like in your experience that teaching in general has moved kind of from a fear-based like teaching style to now more of like encouragement and empowerment?
I think so. I think so. Definitely, teachers are less. How do you say, demanding in their class, and more accepting of students' differences. Because like a few years ago, it used to be like, if you can get a combo fast, you're a good dancer. But now it's not like that, right? Now there are people who just can't pick it up, but a few days later they just like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Want to make sure that you provide to everyone, right? And you give each person in the class a chance to learn and to shine if they want. If they don't want to, it's fine, or just to be themselves. So yeah.
Oh, this so much wisdom right now, honestly. I'm gonna have to take like some time to, like sit with this and be like, damn. All right. Our last and honestly the best, the one that I've been looking forward to the most, your new slash kind of not really new, but new partnership that you've just launched. You just launched your Instagram. Is it Kinaj?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Kinaj. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I got it right. You never know.
I think
But
that's
tell me about this, because you guys have been posting, things have been looking awesome, and I know I, for one, am super hyped to see what's happening with you guys.
thanks, Dee. Woo, we appreciate it. It's scary. Oh yes. Really good question.
I think we're at 6.
Yeah, no, we decided to create Kinaj because we've been like we started dancing like more together, and there was like a point where like, oh, we're doing like, we want to do projects and like collaborations, and then having this like ambiguous like, okay, you have your profile, I have my profile, let's like just post it on our both profiles. Like, well, if we're gonna continue doing this and it's something that I like doing it, she's like doing it, and she likes doing it, so then we're like, yeah, like why don't we like, hey, let's do it. So we were like, let's create Kinaj as our own, like our digital portfolio, and basically a lot of things that we just want to do, not really for the sake of like I don't know, like attention, but we just wanted to like be able to support each other through our personal goals, and to share whatever we like, that whatever we want to create. I think that was like a big thing. We were like really big with, working together, collaborating, experimenting with our art, using different forms of visual media art. Like Ken has a really great background in terms of like knowledge in like theater productions, and if you haven't checked out Project Lullaby, check it out. Like it's been really great. I say I have like some pretty cool knowledge in like certain wiggles. Same with Kin. We both have like a very diverse dance background, and I think it's been such a pleasure that our movement is very complementary to each other. So it's been like a great ride. So I guess like that's why Kinaj is pretty much
Yeah.
developed. Yeah.
And I think it came from like the mantra. We both were at
ABBD.
ABBD program with
Shout out,
Sora.
what's up, Sora?
Shout out Sora, we love you. But she always says, create what you wish existed, and there was no platform that had both of us in it, so we just made it.
Yes,
You made it.
like why
Yeah.
not? We're like dancing. We can keep on dancing with each other anyway. So like,
Yeah.
So it
That's
just,
like the simplest answer. Like it didn't exist, and it should exist.
thanks, y'all.
What do you think is like special specifically about the way you two move together? Because I watched your video, the one about your name, Kimi no Nawa, and I was shook. I, as usual, whenever I watch you, needed a moment to sit in with it and be like, damn, what did I just witness in the best way?
oh, thank you.
That's so nice. Thanks, V.
Thank you.
So what's special about the way you two move together? Don't ask why I'm doing this.
Wait, you go.
You go for good question.
That's a
Number 7.
really good question. What is so unique about how we move? That's a really hard question to answer. I think it's just how we like, where we've learned, who we've trained with, and how we've embodied the movement and the art forms that we've been practicing. And then I guess like when we dance together, there's like, it's not always smooth, that's for sure. But people, I think there might be a misconception like, oh wow, it looks so great. It must have been like super quick. Usually it's pretty straightforward, but we'll get like speed bumps. We're like, this doesn't work, and we'll try it, we'll fail, and then Kane will be like, especially with Love is Free, which I remember there's a section where Ken wanted to try something. We recorded a bunch of times, and then it just didn't like read, and then Ken just like said like, oh, this feels good, why don't we just do this? I'm like, all right, screw it.
I think we just try, to be honest. Like try, and then we have like these bucket moments. We're like, fuck it, let's just do it. Just whatever. Do it for the sake of doing instead of doing it for the sake of perfection. So
yeah,
that's literally what we kind of try. We just try.
Yeah, we want to make sure too. I think like we want to, because like like with the whole like couple dance thing, it's like there's like other couples who dance too that are like known, like Kyoni Mari. I think one thing that we try to do is, so that we remain true to ourselves, is like to kind of like ignore all of like the like other media around there, and then just like try to move the way that we would move naturally. And like we can use certain concepts to inspire that, like a lot of like people use, like manipulation or like mirroring or tracing or threading, whatever, lifts, like those are all universal and like have been used throughout other dance forms. But we just try to make sure that whatever we do feels good within our bodies, so that like we can, it's unique and authentic.
Yo, AJ dropping wisdom too, man. Both of you.
That's right, bachelors of nursing.
All right, and anything we can expect from you? Anything that is coming out soon that you wanna plug or you wanna get people hyped for?
then, right? So we have lots of content that we are like planning, specifically short films, and um, AJ recently we both created like needed
Hmm.
the video for him. So we're trying to make the part two for it. Yay!
Yeah. Shout out to Rev. She like high key like manifested that. I said I'd
Yeah.
give her a shout out. She's like, is there a part 2? And I was like, maybe.
Yeah. And yeah, we have lots of kind of projects, like lots of content coming up. And yeah, we're just gonna be posting like more frequently, and just make sure that it's just good and lighthearted. We also started this Mantra Tuesday thing, which is we just share the quotes or some wisdom that we heard from people or things that we just learned ourselves, um, just for people to kind of just to you know affirm, remind
Yeah,
that.
like a little like, hey, we're feeling like this, and we're reminding ourselves. So we want to if you're feeling like this too as an artist or as a human, then hopefully this helps. If not, then it's okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like sometimes we don't see that too often. We always see like well, at least on my Instagram feed, you see like everyone just like killing it, and I'm like, man, I'm not killing it. Like having those mantras to remind us of like those things, like it's okay, or like like your progress is your progress, their progress is their progress. We have like projects, us being silly, mantras. Yeah, it's pretty much collaborations, features. That's pretty much it.
That's a lot. You say that's it. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're planning to have that new within the end of the year.
Hey, let's go. All right. So if anyone needs to find you, all of the links, all of your ats will be down below.
Yep.
Definitely down below in the description. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this interview. I will let you go continue eating your chicken, but thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate
and
you
with me and vibing with me. It was a blast. I am like almost full, but I'm gonna eat some more a little later.
Yep.
And yeah, I will see you guys later.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye. Enjoy your chicken.